From hashtag WikiLeaks to hashtag WikiRenuncia, Puerto Rico has been grappling with a political hurricane sweeping through the island over the last month. But ask a majority of Puerto Ricans, and this storm has been brewing over the last decade, as the island's slow road to economic recovery has bore little fruit. What little progress was made washed away when Hurricane Maria hit, taking at least 3,000 lives and forcing hundreds of thousands to flee to the U.S. mainland. On Tuesday, July 9th, a different kind of storm took shape over Puerto Rico. That morning, as the then Puerto Rican Governor Ricardo Rosselló vacationed in France, the first series of leaked private messages exchanged between him and members of his inner circle made their rounds on social media. In them, Rosselló and his high-ranking friends laid digital waste to some of their political opponents with a mix of memes and insults. In a press conference held on the night of July 11th, Rosselló justified his message in the chat as a way to blow off steam, but asked for forgiveness for their content. But Puerto Ricans were having none of that. By July 12th, the protests in San Juan calling for Rosselló's resignation were gaining steady momentum. Heading into the weekend, thousands of Puerto Ricans had already braved tear gas and occasional violence to gather outside the governor's residence at La Fortaleza. On Saturday, Puerto Rico's Centro de Periodismo Investigativo released the motherlode of leaks and published all 889 pages of private chat messages between Rosselló and his inner circle. On Sunday, July 21st, in a Facebook livestream, Rosselló announced his departure as leader of his new Progressive Party and said he wouldn't seek re-election come the next cycle, but he didn't resign. Protesters had already planned their biggest showing yet for the following Monday, and Rosselló's actions only added fuel to the fire. Heeding the call of Puerto Rican superstars like Ricky Martin, Bad Bunny, and Residente of Calle 13, hundreds of thousands of Puerto Ricans flooded the streets of San Juan in what was called La Marcha del Pueblo. The movement's leaders were the island's young people, or as Residente of Calle 13 called them, La Generación de Yo no me dejo. As the protests carried on over the day and into the night, the world took note, and so did Rosselló. 2 days after the march, he resigned.
Hoy les anuncio que estaré renunciando al puesto del gobernador.
The man chosen to succeed him was Pedro Pierluisi, the acting Secretary of State at the time. Pierluisi came into power with a promise to stabilize the country, but 2 days after being sworn in, his appointment was deemed unconstitutional by Puerto Rico's Supreme Court. It was a unanimous decision and was based on the fact that Pierluisi had never been sworn in to be Secretary of State by Puerto Rico's House and Senate. At the time, both chambers were on recess. Pierluisi's fall meant the rise of Wanda Vázquez Garcet, Puerto Rico's Secretary of Justice. On August 7th, just 4 days after Pierluisi was sworn in as governor, Wanda Vázquez went through the same process, but not without its fair share of speculation. While not facing backlash like Rosselló, Vázquez also faced calls for her own resignation during the 2 weeks of protest. That caused her initially to express on Twitter her desire not to be chosen as his successor. However, she took the title of governor with the promise of eradicating corruption in the government. It's yet to be seen whether Vázquez can follow through on her promise, but one thing's for sure, if she doesn't, the Puerto Rican people stand ready to hit the streets once more and inspire the whole world again.